There's one small detail that used to go completely unnoticed in Morris, Sam and Pearl Watts' old movies, something so subtle that most people didn't even think twice about it at the time. But now that same detail is hitting differently. And it's making fans uncomfortable, emotional, and honestly a little confused, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. It usually starts the same way for most people. You finish watching one of their newer movies, maybe something intense, something emotional, something that leaves you thinking long after the screen goes off. And then you decide to go back, just casually, to rewatch one of their older films, nothing serious, just vibes. But somewhere in the middle of that rewatch, it happens, you notice it. At first it feels small, almost insignificant, just a look, a pause, a reaction that feels slightly deeper than it should be, and you brush it off. Because back then it didn't mean anything, back then it was just acting right, but then it happens again, and this time you don't brush it off because now you've seen their recent performances, you've seen how far their chemistry has evolved, you've felt the intensity of their newer roles, so when you go back and watch those older scenes again, that one small detail doesn't feel small anymore, it feels like the beginning of something. And that's exactly what fans are talking about right now. That detail, it's the way they look at each other when they think no one is paying attention, not the obvious romantic moments, not the scripted lines, not the big emotional scenes, but the in-between moments, the quiet ones, the ones that were never meant to stand out. That's where everything is happening. Because in those moments, there's something different, something real, something that feels like it slipped through the script unnoticed. And now people are going back and watching those exact moments frame by frame, trying to understand what they're seeing, trying to figure out why it feels so different now, because back then those looks didn't carry this weight, they didn't feel this intense, they didn't make people pause and rewind, but now they feel loaded, now they feel intentional, now they feel like they were hiding something in plain sight. And the craziest part is that nobody can agree on what exactly it means. Some fans believe those looks were always real. Even from the beginning there was something deeper between them that just wasn't obvious yet. Others think it's the opposite. They believe it only feels real now because of how strong their chemistry has become over time, that the present is changing how we see the past. And honestly, both sides make sense, because what's happening right now is bigger than just one scene or one movie or one moment. It's about perspective. When you watch something for the first time, you see it with fresh eyes, no expectations, no context, just the story in front of you. But when you go back after seeing growth, after feeling stronger emotions, after watching their connection evolve, you're not the same viewer anymore. You're watching with new awareness, new sensitivity, new understanding. So naturally you start noticing things you missed before, but with Morris, Sam and Pearl Watts it feels deeper than that, because it's not just about noticing more, it's about feeling more. Those small looks, they linger longer now. Those quiet pauses, they feel louder now. Those simple interactions, they carry weight now. And that's what's making fans question everything, because if those details were always there, then what exactly were we watching before? Were we missing something obvious, or has something actually changed between them over time? That question is what's driving this entire conversation. And it's why fans are going back again and again, not just to enjoy the movies, but to investigate them, to search for patterns, to compare reactions, to track the evolution of something that was never officially announced, but somehow feels real. And the deeper people go, the more intense it gets, because they start noticing consistency, that same type of look, that same kind of pause, that same unspoken understanding, showing up across different movies, different roles, different storylines, and yet it feels connected, like a thread running through everything they've done together. That's when it stops feeling like coincidence, that's when it starts feeling intentional. Or at least natural, and natural is what makes it powerful, because you can't fake that kind of consistency, you can't script that level of subtlety over and over again without it feeling forced. But with them it doesn't feel forced, it feels effortless, like they're not trying to create those moments, they just happen. And that's what is making fans react the way they are right now. Because people can sense when something is genuine, even if they can't fully explain it, even if they don't have proof. Even if it exists only in those tiny blink and you miss it moments. That's why reactions online are getting more intense. People aren't just saying they have chemistry anymore, that conversation is old. Now it's more like, did you see that look? Pause at 1:12 and watch her reaction. That wasn't acting, telling you something changed. Once someone points it out, everyone starts seeing it. That's how it spreads. One observation turns into a discussion, that discussion turns into a trend. And suddenly everybody is rewatching with a different mindset, looking for that same detail, trying to catch that same moment, trying to feel that same shift. And when they do, it hits them just as hard, that quiet realization that something they once overlooked now feels like the most important part of everything. And that's the power of subtlety. It doesn't scream for attention, it doesn't demand to be noticed, but once it is, it becomes impossible to ignore. That's exactly where Morris Sam and Pearl Watts are right now, operating in a space where the smallest details are having the biggest impact, where silence speaks louder than dialogue, where a single look can carry more emotion than an entire scene, and where fans are no longer passive viewers but active observers, trying to decode something that feels just out of reach. Maybe that's why this trend feels so different, because it's not being driven by drama or controversy, or anything loud. It's being driven by curiosity, by emotion, by that quiet feeling that something deeper is happening beneath the surface, and whether that feeling is real or just the result of incredible acting, it doesn't even matter anymore, because the impact is the same. People are watching differently now, more closely, more carefully, more emotionally. And that one small detail, the one that used to go unnoticed, it has now become the center of everything, the thing everyone is looking for, the thing everyone is talking about, the thing that has completely changed how their old movies are being experienced today. And the craziest part, there are probably still moments we haven't even noticed yet, still details hiding in plain sight, still scenes waiting to be rewatched and reinterpreted, and felt in a completely new way, which means this conversation, it's not ending anytime soon, because as long as people keep going back, they're going to keep finding more. And every new discovery is going to make everything hit even harder than before,